各位早晨，我係金瑩。律政司司長袁國強早前因為腸部不適入院，上星期五出院，而家仍然要食藥同覆診。佢話病情唔算嚴重，相信有能力重新投入工作。又話高鐵一地兩檢會借鑑外國經驗。
無論頭先呢位朋友所講嘅美國同埋加拿大呢一方面嘅例子啦，同埋呢個英國同埋法國嘅例子啦，都係其實喺我哋而家研究嘅範圍之內嚇。咁當然啦，每個地方佢嗰個嘅情況會有唔同，嗰個具體嘅操作亦都有唔同。我哋會借鑑外國嘅例子，但係我哋亦都咧要確保咧，往後我哋喺西九進行呢個一地兩檢嘅時候咧，必須要符合香港嘅基本法，亦都要符合咧一國兩制嗰個嘅大原則。
法國地區選舉首輪投票結束，票站調查顯示，極右政黨國民陣線領先其他對手，令到國民陣線喺2017年總統選舉當中增加勝算。馬林勒龐領導嘅極右國民陣線預料得票率近30%，前總統薩爾科齊領導嘅右翼共和黨得票率27.5%，執政社會黨就獲大約23%嘅選票。
馬林勒龐喺投票結束之後出席支持者集會。票站調查顯示，喺13個選區入面，佢領導嘅極右國民陣線初步贏到最少4個選區，最終能夠贏到幾多個選區，要視乎下星期日舉行嘅第二輪投票結果。不過，當地傳媒形容今次係主張。
各位，美國總統奧巴馬係發表全國電視講話，一齊睇下現場情況。
So far, we have no evidence that the killers were directed by a terrorist organization overseas or that they were part of a broader conspiracy here at home. But it is clear that the two of them had gone down the dark path of radicalization, embracing a perverted interpretation of Islam that calls for war against America and the West. They had stockpiled assault weapons, ammunition, and pipe bombs. So this was an act of terrorism designed to kill innocent people. Our nation has been at war with terrorists since al-Qaeda killed nearly 3,000 Americans on 9/11. In the process, we've hardened our defenses, from airports to financial centers to other critical infrastructure. Intelligence and law enforcement agencies have disrupted countless plots here and overseas and worked around the clock to keep us safe. Our military and counterterrorism professionals have relentlessly pursued terrorist networks overseas, disrupting safe havens in several different countries, killing Osama bin Laden, and decimating al-Qaeda's leadership. Over the last few years, however, the terrorist threat has evolved into a new phase. As we've become better at preventing complex, multifaceted attacks like 9/11, terrorists turn to less complicated acts of violence like the mass shootings that are all too common in our society. It is this type of attack that we saw at Fort Hood in 2009, in Chattanooga earlier this year, and now in San Bernardino. And as groups like ISIL grew stronger amidst the chaos of war in Iraq and then Syria, and as the internet erases the distance between countries, we see growing efforts by terrorists to poison the minds of people like the Boston Marathon bombers and the San Bernardino killers. For 7 years, I have confronted this evolving threat each and every morning in my intelligence briefing. And since the day I took this office, I have authorized U.S. forces to take out terrorists abroad precisely because I know how real the danger is. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no greater responsibility than the security of the American people. As a father to 2 young daughters who are the most precious part of my life, I know that we see ourselves with friends and coworkers at a holiday party like the one in San Bernardino. I know we see our kids in the faces of the young people killed in Paris. And I know that after so much war, Many Americans are asking whether we are confronted by a cancer that has no immediate cure. Well, here's what I want you to know. The threat from terrorism is real, but we will overcome it. We will destroy ISIL and any other organization that tries to harm us. Our success won't depend on tough talk or abandoning our values or giving in to fear. That's what groups like ISIL are hoping for. Instead, we will prevail by being strong and smart, resilient and relentless, and by drawing upon every aspect of American power. Here's how. First, our military will continue to hunt down terrorist plotters in any country where it is necessary. In Iraq and Syria, airstrikes are taking out ISIL leaders, heavy weapons, oil tankers, infrastructure. And since the attacks in Paris, our closest allies, including France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, have ramped up their contributions to our military campaign, which will help us accelerate our effort to destroy ISIL. Second, we will continue to provide training and equipment to tens of thousands of Iraqi and Syrian forces fighting ISIL on the ground so that we take away their safe havens. In both countries, we're deploying special operations forces who can accelerate that offensive. We've stepped up this effort since the attacks in Paris and will continue to invest more in approaches that are working on the ground. Third, we're working with friends and allies to stop ISIL's operations, to disrupt plots, cut off their financing, and prevent them from recruiting more fighters. Since the attacks in Paris, we've surged intelligence sharing with our European allies. We're working with Turkey to seal its border with Syria. And we are cooperating with Muslim-majority countries and with our Muslim communities here at home to counter the vicious ideology that ISIL promotes online. Fourth, with American leadership, the international community has begun to establish a process and timeline to pursue ceasefires and a political resolution to the Syrian war. Doing so will allow the Syrian people and every country, including our allies, but also countries like Russia, to focus on the common goal of destroying ISIL, a group that threatens us all. This is our strategy to destroy ISIL. It is designed and supported by our military commanders and counterterrorism experts, together with 65 countries that have joined an American-led coalition. And we constantly examine our strategy to determine when additional steps are needed to get the job done. That's why I've ordered the Departments of State and Homeland Security to review the visa waiver program under which the female terrorist in San Bernardino originally came to this country. And that's why I will urge high-tech and law enforcement leaders to make it harder for terrorists to use technology to escape from justice. Now, here at home, we have to work together to address the challenge. There are several steps that Congress should take right away. To begin with, Congress should act to make sure no one on a no-fly list is able to buy a gun. What could possibly be the argument for allowing a terrorist suspect to buy a semi-automatic weapon? This is a matter of national security. We also need to make it harder for people to buy powerful assault weapons, like the ones that were used in San Bernardino. I know there are some who reject any gun safety measures, but the fact is that our intelligence and law enforcement agencies, no matter how effective they are, cannot identify every would-be mass shooter, whether that individual is motivated by ISIL or some other hateful ideology. What we can do, and must do, is make it harder for them to kill. Next, we should put in place stronger screening for those who come to America without a visa so that we can take a hard look at whether they've traveled to war zones. And we're working with members of both parties in Congress to do exactly that. Finally, if Congress believes, as I do, that we are at war with ISIL, it should go ahead and vote to authorize the continued use of military force against these terrorists. For over a year, I have ordered our military to take thousands of airstrikes against ISIL targets. I think it's time for Congress to vote to demonstrate that the American people are united and committed to this fight. My fellow Americans, these are the steps that we can take together to defeat the terrorist threat. Let me now say a word about what we should not do. We should not be drawn once more into a long and costly ground war in Iraq or Syria. That's what groups like ISIL want. They know they can't defeat us on the battlefield. ISIL fighters were part of the insurgency that we faced in Iraq. But they also know that if we occupy foreign lands, they can maintain insurgencies for years, killing thousands of our troops, draining our resources, and using our presence to draw new recruits. The strategy that we are using now, airstrikes, special forces, and working with local forces who are fighting to regain control of their own country, that is how we'll achieve a more sustainable victory. And it won't require us sending a new generation of Americans overseas to fight and die for another decade on foreign soil. Here's what else we cannot do. We cannot turn against one another by letting this fight be defined as a war between America and Islam. That, too, is what groups like ISIL want. ISIL does not speak for Islam. They are thugs and killers, part of a cult of death. And they account for a tiny fraction of more than 1 billion Muslims around the world, including millions of patriotic Muslim Americans who reject their hateful ideology. Moreover, the vast majority of terrorist victims around the world are Muslim. If we're to succeed in defeating terrorism, we must enlist Muslim communities as some of our strongest allies, rather than push them away through suspicion and hate. That does not mean denying the fact that an extremist ideology has spread within some Muslim communities. It is a real problem that Muslims must confront without excuse. Muslim leaders here and around the globe have to continue working with us to decisively and unequivally reject.
係各位，奧巴馬啦，啱啱就提到話近日嘅恐怖主義啦衍生嘅威脅係真確㗎，但呢佢哋係會美國係會繼續啦去打擊佢哋，而恐怖襲擊啦過去幾年啦亦都演變成為新階段，變得越嚟越複雜。美國啦亦都會同盟友合作對抗極端組織伊斯蘭國呢一類嘅新興組織。咁除咗打擊佢哋啦，亦都會堵截佢哋嘅資金來源，而美國啦亦都會繼續喺全世界任何國家追剿恐怖分子，摧毀伊斯蘭國㗎。現場情況暫時睇到呢度，我哋轉睇下其他消息。美國警方繼續調查加州槍擊案，兩個疑犯行兇動機仍然未明。調查人員話會聚焦女疑犯馬利克係咪早有預謀結識美國籍嘅法魯克入境美國犯案。
調查指疑犯法魯克同馬利克收藏大量彈藥武器，相信佢哋企圖策劃更多襲擊。而早前警方進入兩人鄰居嘅住所調查，懷疑屋主提供槍械俾佢哋。調查之後，相信佢同恐怖組織無關。當局又會繼續調查馬利克係咪利用嫁俾美國公民身份嘅法魯克進入美國，借機發動襲擊，最終影響丈夫法魯克到聖貝納迪諾社區中心開槍殺死14人。馬利克嘅出生地巴基斯坦，內政部長話會盡全力協助美國嘅調查，給予法律上嘅協助。不過佢指出，馬利克同屋企人大部分嘅時間都係喺沙特阿拉伯生活。無線電視記者胡若玲報導。
東京股市早段跟隨美股上星期五上升，升幅超過1%。日經平均指數係報19,760點，升256點。喺啱啱過去嘅週末同星期日，本港二手樓市成交持續低位徘徊，發展商喺西營盤同元朗促銷新盤，帶動一手成交大約有300宗。根據地產代理數據，過去2日10大屋苑二手成交3宗至4宗。代理指市場預期美國就嚟會加息，加上差餉物業估價署公佈樓價租金指數升勢停止，市場觀望出年經濟同樓市表現，買賣雙方轉趨審慎。週末期間，發展商繼續以各種優惠促銷新盤，亦都影響二手樓市成交。 內地官方研究機構國家信息中心預期，內地經濟增長速度將會進一步放緩。國家信息中心發表嘅報告初步估計，內地出年國內生產總值將會增長6.5%以上，反映通脹嘅居民消費物價指數就估計會升1.5%，工業生產者出廠價格指數就跌大約3.5%。報告指喺國內外發展環境仍然錯綜複雜，部分領域困難同風險仍然加大緊，經濟向好嘅基礎唔牢固，認為內地經濟將會呈現小幅緩降嘅趨勢。報告又指，雖然經濟長期向好嘅基本趨勢冇改變，但經濟運行嘅深層次矛盾同問題不斷顯現，下行壓力仍然比較大。報告展望出年內地嘅經濟運行，週期性因素同結構性矛盾仍然比較突出，面臨嘅困難唔會比今年少。報告又預期出年中國投資增速將會呈現中略降趨勢。